Bandicoot Retrospective. Press start to begin.
The year is 2017. Wait, what? The last game was 2008, right? How could we jump to 2017 in one of the most popular video game franchises of all time? I must be missing something, right? Unfortunately, I am not wrong. Crash Bandicoot went 9 years without any video game of his own. In fact, in those 9 years, Crash Bandicoot only had 2 notable appearances in video games. The Boulders level from Crash 1 was a playable minigame inside of Uncharted 4, which was definitely a cool thing to show how far Naughty Dog has come in 20 years. The other appearance of Crash was his appearance in Skylanders Imaginators, where Crash and Cortex would end up getting their own toys and an entire level pack dedicated to them. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go over it. Even then though, both of those appearances happened in 2016. Even if we count those, Crash Bandicoot was gone from the video game industry for 8 years. The PS3 came and went, and everyone just kinda assumed that Crash Bandicoot was finally dead. Until one fateful day in 2017, the Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy was born. Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy would be published by Activision once again, but the developer we would get for this game would be quite the blast from the past. Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy would be developed by Crash Bandicoot veteran Vicarious Visions, who have developed Crash the Huge Adventure, Crash N-Trance, Crash Nitro Kart, Crash Purple. Not the greatest track record, but still interesting to see the studio come back to Crash after so long. Vicarious Visions set out to create a ground-up remake of Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot Warped! That's right, we're revisiting the classics once again. Because we're reviewing all 3 games again, I will be splitting this video up by game. So for today, we will be going over the remake of Crash's first ever adventure, Crash Bandicoot. Will the first third of Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy be more like the originals when it comes to quality, or will Vicarious Visions make yet another Crash Purple? Let's find out. Alright, as per usual when it comes to remakes, I don't want to waste too much of your time repeating what I've already said before, so, you ready for this again? Oh man, it's been a while, I'm out of shape. As for how this version of the story stacks up against the original, it's pretty much the same. There's only one real difference between this game and the PS1 version, and that's the characterization of Tawna. Instead of just being held captive as a damsel in distress, we do see that she tries to fight back against the henchman scientists. Some may call this ticking a box for girl power in the modern day, but when you really think about it, it makes the story make more sense. If Tawna was truly captured and was being prepared to be put into the Cortex Vortex, why the hell does it take so long for her to undergo mind control? It makes much more sense that she is in the castle fighting Cortex, Brio, and their henchmen, struggling against them, giving Crash the time to get back to Cortex's castle and save her. Interesting how such a small change can make the whole game's story make more sense. Because of that, I'll give the N Sane Trilogy version of Crash 1's story a single letter grade above the original. With all of that in mind, the N Sane Trilogy version of Crash 1's story gets my rating of an A++. You have no idea how good it is going to feel to say this. The N Sane Trilogy version of Crash 1 is your standard Crash fare. You run, you jump, you spin, and that's it. No beat 'em up sections, no jacking titans, Just plain, simple, clear as crystal, bona fide, as blunt as an atom bomb, undeniable, egotistical power struggle at the expense, the American dream, the American dream. Do you get it? I did that joke from the original version. That's what they call a callback. Well, you missed it. It flew right over you. I gotta stop. I'm out of breath. Whereas my main criticism with the original is just how stiff the entire game felt. Well, I guess they used some KY jelly because that shit has been lubed up to hell. Right smack and ready to go. Why do I get cursed when I talk about things I like? The stiffness of the original game is gone. Crash moves as smooth as he does in Crash 2 and 3, and it makes a lot of the platforming challenges that the first game brought to the player much more manageable. One of the best examples is in Sunset Vista. Right at the beginning of the stage, there are boxes on the other side of this wall. In both games, you must jump around the wall by, well, jumping around the wall. In the original, this was a test of your thumb's fortitude to get Crash to move in the way you needed him to. In this game, smooth, clean, like butter, chef's kiss, easy peasy. This game also adds analog stick support to the game, which definitely helps with situations like these too. But I can't help but stick to the classic D-pad controls. The game was designed around D-pad control. I'm gonna use it. They also fixed the issues of how obstacles timing works. Before, especially in stages like Sunset Vista, some obstacles would start as soon as they are on screen. This resulted in times where the timing of two obstacles you were meant to avoid at the same time would perfectly line up so that there was no opportunity to go without getting hit or, at worst, dying. Sometimes this torch and the bats that would fly above would alternate one after the other. Now, the obstacles work on a global timer, so the obstacles are lined up exactly as intended, giving Crash a fair shot to get through without accidentally fucking himself. Don't let the better controls and level design fool you though. This game is still pretty difficult to get through. You can't blame janky platforming or bad timing this time, they fixed all of that. If you die, it's your fault. Those are the best types of platformers. The Sane Trilogy really did just take all of the bad parts of Crash 1 and tweak those things to make the game even better. That is textbook what a remake is supposed to do. What's also cool is that this game gives you the ability to play as Coco as well. I honestly appreciate the fact that she doesn't play any differently than Crash. If she did, there would be a risk of everyone wanting to play as Crash or Coco based on who was better. Since Crash and Coco play pretty much the same, it's all a matter of aesthetics and puts Crash and Coco on equal ground. With all of that in mind, the Sane Trilogy version of Crash 1's gameplay gets my rating of an A+. They fixed them. They fixed them all. I'm so happy they fixed them all. These Crash Bandicoot characters finally look like Crash Bandicoot characters again. Not just the characters, the environments, the cutscenes, the bosses, the music, the levels, everything, literally everything is so lovingly and beautifully recreated for the modern age. I'm not kidding. There isn't a single piece of this game that isn't beautifully recreated. You'd think with a modern retelling of the original game that they'd change the dialogue at least a little bit to match with modern writing standards, but no. They don't change a single line of dialogue throughout any cutscene in this game. Every track in this game is made better too. Remember in the first Crash 1 review where there was that one song I complained about? Yeah, that one. Well, even that theme is a fucking bop in this version. That's impressive to build upon and improve almost every part of its presentation. Speaking of impressive, you ever want to see an example of direction and writing driving a good performance for a voice actor? Even though it's only 3 characters, the voice cast for the Crash of the Titans era returned for this game. Jess Harnell, known for Wacko Warner, as Crash, Maurice LaMarche, known for The Brain, as Dr. Embryo, and Lex Lang, known as Goku, I'm not kidding, look it up, as Cortex. Every single one of them brings new life to these lines, and along with the new animation in the cutscenes, this breathes new life into every moment of this game. I don't think I could say enough just how beautifully recreated Crash 1 is from top to bottom. With all of that in mind, the Sane Trilogy version of Crash 1's presentation gets my rating of an A+. Now, I know what you're expecting, but honestly, right off the bat, I think completing this version of Crash 1 is way easier than completing the original. All of these videos saying that Crash 1 and Sane Trilogy is so hard to get the Platinum Trophy in, I don't really see it. To complete the Sane Trilogy version of Crash 1, you must beat all 27 levels in the game, get all 26 gems, both keys, beat all 6 bosses, and new to this version of this game, obtain all 26 gold relics in the game. Other than the relics, the completion requirement is the exact same. Where this game is much easier than the original is how you obtain your gems. In the original version, you had to break every box in a stage and get to the end of the stage without dying. This got very tough, especially towards the end of the game. It was not unordinary to spend over an hour on one level due to how difficult the game could get on levels like Slippery Climb and especially Fumbling in the Dark. Now, all you have to do is break every box in a stage. You are allowed to die as many times as you want. The trade-off is that now the boxes in the Tawna, Brio, and Cortex bonuses count towards the total. I honestly love this change because it allows for an easier gem collecting journey while also giving the bonuses, especially the Embryo bonuses, an actual point instead of being weird save points. That's also another thing. Thank God this game abandoned having the gems and bonuses be your save points. Now you can save literally whenever you want. This is much better. I'm not forced to play up until certain levels in order to save. The only gems that require you not to die throughout the stage are the colored gems. I will gladly take doing stages like this 6 times rather than 26. Unfortunately, Slippery Climb is one of those stages, but honestly, it's not that bad once you get the platforming down. Now for the hardest part of completion. The relics. The relics work as they have in the past. Get to the end of the stage as quickly as you can. The difference with this game as opposed to others is that Crash has no run button in this game. You must use Crash's base abilities to get to the end of a stage as quickly as you possibly can. This is difficult, don't get me wrong, especially since, just like the original with the gems, you must get through a stage without dying. The difference here being that you don't have to stop and get every box, so attempts go by much quicker. Stages like Fumbling in the Dark that were tough before are now much easier to get through, only taking me a few tries. Now the MVP when it comes to difficult stages is the High Road. My god, this stage took me so many attempts to get through. I tried rope walking too, but I'm just not good enough at it to do it quick enough. You just have to get good. Just like before, for 100%ing the game, you get the non-canon ending to the game, telling you where all of the characters are after the events of the game. These are exactly the same as before, continuing the themes of being a lovely homage. Part of me wishes that they switched the endings, making the canon ending the 100% ending instead of the normal one, but this has been such a loving recreation, why fuck with it? Unfortunately, getting all of the relics doesn't really give you anything other than a number above 100% and trophies. Kinda lame considering it's the hardest part of the completion. Speaking of trophies, this is our first time going over a game with trophies in a retrospective, and you know I platinumed this game. Crash 1 has 22 trophies to collect before getting the Platinum Trophy. Papu Popped, Ripper Ruined, Koala Conked, Pinstripe Patooey, Nitrous Broken, and Cortex Incapacitated are all collected by defeating all of the bosses in the game, naturally giving you 6 of the 23 trophies. The next couple of trophies I describe will honestly more than likely naturally happen as you play the game. You obtain Spin Doctor for spinning one enemy into another. I meant to do that, Pops, when you embarrass yourself and spin an extra life away. That's what those do unlocks when you enter a bonus stage. You get a hidden gem when you enter a colored gem path. The next couple come from getting 100% in the game. You get Cortex's Crazed Contest and Cortex's Terrifying Trial for collecting both keys in the game. For getting all of the gems, you'll get more gems are better than none and the ultimate gem path. When you obtain all of the gold relics, you will get 3 more trophies. Catch Me If You Can, Could Go All the Way, and Practice Makes Perfect. Now that you're standing at 17 trophies just for 100%ing the game, now you only have a few miscellaneous trophies left. Feed Me and I See London, I See France are obtained by getting killed by the plant enemies and electrocution respectively. The box that broke the Bandicoot's back is unlocked by having over 30 boxes hit Crash on the results screen of the stage. The best way to do this is to go into Insanity Beach and just avoid hitting any boxes. Easy peasy. No Holds Barred is another easy one. All you have to do is defeat 5 enemies as Coco. Finally, the final trophy is on Cloud 99. You unlock this trophy by getting your lives count to 99 lives. With that, you are the proud holder of the intrepid Crash Bandicoot. See? Not that hard. You get 17 of those trophies just by being a completionist. There's definitely way worse trophy games. So do I recommend completing Sane Trilogy's version of Crash 1? Honestly, nah. If they gave you something interesting for getting all of the relics, I'd say sure, but since you get absolutely nothing, I'd say just get 100% and leave it at that. Put the relics in the trash. Crash 1 inside of the Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy is the masterclass on how to remake your game. The story, though kept largely the same, has subtle differences that make it make more sense and breathe new life into the original. Gameplay that improves upon its original and tweaks some things in the name of quality of life, presentation that is a beautiful recreation of the original and doesn't unnecessarily change things for the sake of updating it for the modern day, and a completion that adds more to the game that was originally there. Crash 1 in the N Sane Trilogy is an amazing, amazing remake. This is the type of remake that trusts its source material. With all of that in mind, the N Sane Trilogy version of Crash 1 gets my overall rating of an A+. Let's hope this quality stays consistent as the games go on. Thank you everybody so much for watching this video, and if you like the Crash Retrospective, please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next episode. We also have merch in the description below where you can get our shirts, mugs, and stickers to enrich your gameplay experience. I'd like to give a special shout out to Andrew's Retro Games for being the most well-esteemed guest of them all. You could also become a channel member to get all of these videos when I'm finished editing them as opposed to when they're scheduled to come out. Next week, we'll be looking at the next Crash game in the lineup, the N Sane Trilogy version of Crash Bandicoot 2. With that, I'm Bottles, and I bid you, my well-esteemed guests, adieu.